To start.
Go ahead, Rob. You can go
All right.
first.
Name's Rob Fraser. Welcome to this hangout. It's going to be short, quick, to the point, we hope, hangout. Just basically talking about when you're first starting out, how to not be overwhelmed. When I first started out, I didn't really have an active sponsor or a good, strong mentor to follow. And because of that, I did a lot of extras.
Name's Rob Fraser. Welcome
And
to
I
this
need to
hangout.
pause
It's gonna
the.
be short.
Hang on. See, that's what I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you heard that feedback.
I did.
We
Yeah,
did.
so that's what happens, and that throws me off every time. So I have to do the YouTube, mute it, and then show the hangout. Okay, that's being said.
Okay.
Going back, started out, got overwhelmed with doing a lot of different things. I was blogging, I was doing YouTube videos, I was trying to do paid traffic, I was trying to do SEO, I was trying to market on Facebook, and believe it or not, all of these different things, they each have their own learning curve. So it's not just get on Facebook and do this. It was get on Facebook, learn how to talk to people, learn how to pitch, learn how to promote, learn how to market in Facebook groups, and it just every single topic would unearth its own can of worms. And then I thought, well, I'll just do blogging. And then there's blogging, there's blogging for SEO, search engine optimization, which is its own whole all-encompassing topic that's constantly changing. And then there's SEO courses that you can buy to help your blogging, and it's just so much information that you don't even want to write a blog post because it's, well, if I'm going to write a blog post, I want it to get found. It's the logical thing to be thinking. You want to blog, you want people to see it. The only way you can get people to see it is if it's ranked on the first page of Google. And how do you get it ranked on the first page? And then that's what opens up all of this other stuff you think you have to do, you have to go through to get your blog ranked. And so that's overwhelming in and of itself. And so me, plowing through all of the SEO courses, trying to write my blog that would be SEO friendly, also writing it so it wouldn't bore people, because if you write a blog for SEO reasons, you lose the readability factor. It gets boring because you're writing for Google and you're not writing for people. And then that's another topic in and of itself. If you're writing a blog for people, you want to be engaging, you want to tell stories, you want to include your marketing, and so it's just so much information that I didn't even want to blog anymore. But over time, just sticking it out, 1,000 blog posts written, lots of overwhelm, lots of frustration. Again, a lot of it had to do with not having a mentor to kind of guide me in the right direction in the beginning. And so over time, and I'm sure Renee can relate to this, you just kind of fumble around in the beginning, get overwhelmed, get frustrated, want to quit 1,000 times until you find a strong leader who kind of takes you under his or her wing and guides you in the right direction. And so that's kind of what led to all of us meeting right here. And for me, I found that person and am becoming that person for other people as well. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it off to you, Renee.
Okay. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Renee Sullivan, and I started, well, I'll back up. I used to be a speech pathologist for about 18 years, but in that time, about 16 years ago, I was introduced to home-based business. And it was very appealing to me because my job was very stressful, and I also wanted to be home with my kids. My daughter was a newborn baby at the time. And I struggled a lot because I did not have good mentors. I had, my first thing I signed up for, my sponsor left me within 2 weeks. And I just I did what Rob said. I fumbled around for like 15 years trying to find something that worked. I did have one successful business that I started in 2010 that was relatively successful. It was short-lived success, but it was successful. And then in April 2014 is when I actually went online. What I used to do before was home-based business, mostly direct sales. And then when I started online, I actually learned a lot from direct sales on how to find a mentor, and I kept very close to someone who I felt was a good mentor, and I just followed what he suggested to do and did it. Well, I kind of did it in overdrive and drove myself to overwhelm, but I knew that there was a lot that I needed to learn about online marketing. So, and it kind of goes with my personality. I'm very type A, so. But anyways, I did get overwhelmed, but I did learn a lot, and I actually found other mentors to help guide me in the process as well. So. Luckily, I'm a mentor to others now. But you do, when you first start, you're going to fumble a little bit until you find your own rhythm and find what works for you. So yeah. All right. So go
We'll
ahead.
see. I'll touch on that. I just got off the phone call with another guy before jumping on his Hangout, and a couple things. The most important thing is, one, when you find that strong leader, you want to stick with them, and it does help when you actually are on their team, in their system, kind of following very closely what they're doing. And there's specific reasons for that. Also, the biggest thing is finding what works for you, finding your voice, finding your strengths, your strong suits. For example, I follow a guy named Gary Vaynerchuk. He wrote the book Crush It, Jab, 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 Right Hook. He's a big-time marketer, Wine Library TV. He wants to buy the New York Jets. I'm sure some of you may or may not have heard from him. But his thing is, you find your strengths, and that's where you work. That's where you excel. Don't try, and my computer's freezing. I don't know what's happening.
You're still going.
Somebody inviting me to a call,
Yeah.
and it's ringing through the phone, and it's ringing through the Hangout, and I don't know how to shut it off.
I don't know.
So, all right, are we still good? I think we're still.
I think we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
Yeah, I don't know. It was ringing through the phone. It was ringing through the computer. I was trying to shut it off, and then I lost my train of thought. And then any which way, the point is, you have to find your strong suits. And whatever they are, just work there for a while. And yes, we always want to grow. We always want to do different things. We always want to stretch ourselves. But in the beginning, you really don't have time to be doing all that kind of stuff. If you're good at speaking, then you want to start doing videos. If you're good at writing, then you want to blog. And you want to just kind of embrace that in the beginning until you start getting some traction. Once you start getting some traction in whatever that skill set is, then you can kind of branch out and start doing other things. For example, in my case, I was always good at writing, at least I thought so, and I would just blog. I would blog 5, 6, 7, sometimes 10 times a day, talking about the business, talking about why I joined it, telling my story over and over and over again. And over time, I got good at it because I just kept doing that one thing I was good at. And each person has their own strengths. Some people are good with networking. They can make anyone feel like a friend within 10 minutes of meeting them, 5 seconds of meeting them. And for some people, being on Facebook is their strength. So it just makes sense that that's where you want to work when you're first starting out. And don't look left, don't look right, just do that one thing you are good at until you start getting some traction. Once you start getting some traction and success, then you can take that and start incorporating a blog or a daily video or something along that nature. And that's kind of the big idea. In the beginning, you don't know this. You think, I got to do a YouTube channel. I got to blog. I got to learn pay-per-click. I gotta buy a solo ad. I gotta do this, and it's just too much. If you bring on a new person, this is a conversation you want to have with that person. I wish I had a guy tell me this when I first joined. Just, look, what do you think you're good at? Well, I think I'm good at BSing. I'm good at BSing people. Okay, you got the gift of gab. You might want to just learn networking, or you might want to shoot a lot of videos. You see what I'm saying? So you're going to have to find what you're good at or what you like to do. Some people don't like showing their face on videos, so write blog posts. Some people don't like writing blog posts, so get on social media, be the social butterfly, and take courses, this is important, in your strength. What do I mean by that? If you like to do Facebook networking, things like that, then those are the courses you want to gravitate to. What I was doing, I would buy a course on video marketing. Next week I'd buy a course on blogging. Next week I'd buy a course on SEO. Next week I'd buy a course on paid traffic. All these things had nothing to do with each other, and I wouldn't even finish the first course before I bought the second course, and now I'm trying to incorporate SEO into my blogging and then buy traffic and then get on Facebook, and you can see how confusing and exhausting and overwhelming that is. Whereas if I would have said, I like blogging, and the only thing I'm going to do is just blog. I don't care about anything else, I'm going to just blog. So what I should have done was just bought courses on, blogging, language, speaking, communicating, SEO, blogging, that kind of deal. So that being said, I'm going to hand it back to you, Renee.
You brought up a very good point about having a conversation with your sponsor. And if your sponsor isn't a leader, make sure that they have a leader under them that can help them guide you, because it is very important to figure out what works for you. It is so important. And, I did make the same mistake of trying to do everything all at once. But once I figured out, and again, you got to get a little bit uncomfortable, because what really started to help me to get out of that overwhelm is that I was given a challenge to make videos. Even though I was afraid to do them, it was a good challenge for me, because it taught me a lot, but it brought me out of my comfort zone. And I did a 10-day, for 10 days I did a video every single day, and it was really good for me. And all I did was talk about, what my journey was, or something. If I'd learned something, I talked about that. So what I found in that whole process was, okay, I think I'm pretty good at teaching people what I've just learned. So I started to develop those skills, and I also, went through training as well in what I felt I was good at, but knowing in the long run I was gonna have to learn things that I was not good at. So I did the same thing and studied courses on, at first, things that I was interested in, what I thought I might be good at. And I developed, I'm one of those social people, so I developed social skills first, and then started, using that to mentor others who needed help with that. And then, eventually I got into doing more of email copying and, writing some of my own emails, and then into, doing solo ads and other paid advertising. But that whole process took me a while to figure out what to do. What is important is that you follow what your mentor is, because you don't know it, like you said, Rob, you don't know at first what it is you need to do. So it's so important for you to find a mentor that is going to give you something simple to talk about, to start with, to do at first. And, I like your idea, get on Skype with them, or, get in a Google Hangout and say, okay, what do you think you're good at? Let's start there. And I've been doing that with anyone who comes in as well. I of course send them the general welcome letter, and here's what you're going to be doing, but not everybody is at the same level. Not everybody's good at everything. So you definitely need to have a conversation to figure out what is going to be best for that person so that they could start maximizing those skills and make money as soon as they can. Because obviously we're in here to make money, and if there's something that's going to accelerate that process, you got to go with that. You got to go with what that person is going to be good at, and just keep going with that. So.
And on that, I'm gonna tie these two questions in together. We did get to two. Basically, because one person was asking about procrastination, and then another question was on blog topics, and it all kind of tied in together. When you're first starting out, you're here, and then you have this mountain of information, knowledge, everything you have to learn. You got to learn to be a whole brand new person to make money and all this stuff, and it's just, where do I start? So number one, yes, you as you, it may have not happened to you, but when you bring in people, make sure you have this conversation with them. What are your strengths? And we'll start there. And yes, you are going to have to grow into other areas. For example, I started out blogging, but I knew I'm going to have to do videos. And I could take course after course after course after course, and because there's that extreme as well. You could take course after course after course and no action. Well, I got to learn how to do this. I got to learn how to video edit. I need to get an edit guy to put fancy music and graphics in my videos. I didn't have that. I just said, you know what, you're just going to have to start where you are. If you have a old ratty cell phone camera that's blurry, like me, when I first started, that's what you have to do. That's where you're going to have to start, and you're going to have to just do it every single day. So I was blogging. That was my strength. I was getting good at it. I was learning how to rank, all of these different things. And then I incorporated a video. So I write about something, and then I do a video about something. Now, how I got over procrastinating, because procrastinating is kind of, you want it to be perfect. You feel like you have to learn everything before you do it, so you do it the right way, and you know that whole mental journey will keep you stuck. Analysis paralysis, whatever you want to call it. And there's no real magical thing to say other than you're just going to have to just plow through it. The way I got over procrastination is I would learn something, put my own spin on it, and then immediately put out content about it. And I would do it the very first thing in the morning, or the first few minutes in my office. I would learn something, watch a video on something, learn a topic, and then immediately put that, what I learned, in my own words, with my own business links, with my own capture pages, in either video or blog form. And I would do that every single day. Over time, you'll start to have a large database of things you've learned, daily tips, whatever the case, that you can share. That also helps in your marketing. So to prevent procrastination, I would just do it first thing in the morning, and I would take small chunks. If I learned one little thing, when doing videos, keep them under 3 minutes. And so I'd shoot a video. Hey, my name's Rob Fraser. In this video, I want to talk about keeping your videos under 3 minutes. You want to keep them short. People don't like to watch 10-minute long videos. If you're boring, you're not going to watch them anyway. Thanks for watching my video. And it was great. It sucked. I don't care. I just kept doing it. And I would do it first thing. If I get the video done, then I wouldn't have to worry about it. In the beginning, I would shoot videos. I would stutter. I would shoot the same video 100 times. It would take me 8 hours to do a 2-minute video. And after doing that for a good 2-3 months, you just get over it. It's just like, you know what, I can't keep doing this because I'm slowing myself down. I'm slowing my progress down. So just get up, get the video out, put it up on YouTube. If you stutter, if the camera's shaky, if people can't see you, if it's dark, who cares? There's one guy I know making $100,000 a month, and every single one of his videos he is doing in a dark room. He's a black dude, and the room is dark, and he has the lights off. There's no natural light, but he's still talking in a camera. You could barely see his face, but he's making $100,000 a month. So you see what I'm saying? The most important thing is just to get it done. If you procrastinate, just do it first thing in the morning. Say, you know what? Every single day I'm gonna learn something new.
Mm-hmm.
One thing.
Yep.
Take that one little thing, write a little paragraph on it, throw it on a blog, and just do that every day. Over time, your voice will develop, whether you're blogging, posting on social media, or doing videos. You will develop your voice, and your knowledge base will grow, and your videos will have that much more power, or blogs, or social media posts. In the beginning, my videos were a lot of fluff because I thought I had to keep them all 3 minutes. I would give my point in the first 30 seconds and then repeat it, long-winded, and, you know, kind of like I'm doing now. But you get the idea. You get your voice. You know what you're saying. You learn different things as you go, and the more you learn, the more you can give, and the more you give, the more you will get in the forms of financial compensation. Running out of topics, same thing. It's learning something new every single day and putting your spin on it. Even if it's the same thing, if you're trying to learn something every single day, you're growing as a person. So even if you are doing videos and blogs on the same exact topic, you're going to naturally be able to give more content over time. You're going to be able to give more valuable lessons, tips, ideas, methods, just from the repetition of doing it. If you're not learning something, then your videos are going to keep sucking, and you're never going to get better. You see what I'm saying? So you have to learn on a daily basis, and you'll be all right, even if you're doing videos on the same exact thing. If you're not learning something new every day, if you're not reading, if you're not listening to audios, if you're not networking with people on a higher level, then your brain is just going to, you know, your content is just going to be like, all right, he's saying the same thing, nothing new here. So with that being said, I think I got both questions. But yeah, it's just learning something new every day, putting your spin on it, doing it first thing. That way you don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
Or whenever you have a chance. If you are a night owl at midnight, if that's when you get to your office, just do that first thing, learn something new, done. Move on to the next task. So hand it off there.
Yeah. And you made a good point about being consistent. One thing I wanted to caution people about is, when you're starting out new, you will be bombarded not only with information, but you're also going to be bombarded because you're going to be learning and growing and building up your network. You're going to be increasing the amount of friends on your Facebook. Do not get lost in people messaging you, you know, here's this that's going to help you. Here's this business that you want to join. Here's we call it the shiny object syndrome. Okay. To stay focused, you need to stay away from any of that. You just need to say, you know what I'm doing, I'm learning this, you know, leave me alone. You know, shut people off like that, because that will become very overwhelming. And it gets even more overwhelming even as you're doing well and making progress, because people are like, everybody wants you to be part of that, you know. So you need to have a thick skin. You need to be you cannot waver from what you're already learning, because it's only going to distract you, and you're going to lose any amount of momentum that you ever had if you start jumping to this thing that's going to help you and this thing that's going to help you. And this, stick with what you've talked about with your mentor. And, you know, if there's something that you think you might help, you know, talk to your mentor about that, you know, and they'll steer you in the right direction as to whether they think it's going to help you or not, because that will distract you and it's going to overwhelm you more. So I just felt that that was a really good point to get out there.
Now, I will concur.
That's a whole other subject. But
Yeah, I will concur with that. Whenever you do start getting traction, a lot of people come out of woodworks. People on other teams will start asking you for help. People on your team will be always in your face asking you questions, and this kind of ties back into a topic we did I think a week or two ago, is I think we were talking about productivity and getting your tasks done on a daily basis. Once you get your strengths and you know what you're doing, for example, if you're blogging every day and you're writing a blog post and shooting a video every day, if that's all you're doing, make sure you keep doing that every single day. As you build a team, people will start asking you questions, and you might get sucked into their world, and you might not keep doing the things that initially got you to that point.
Yep.
And in my own case, lately I haven't been writing as much. I've been shooting a lot of videos and doing a lot of paid stuff. But the thing is that blogging was my initial core thing that I always have done and always will do, and I'm going to do it today. But what happens is when people start joining your team, you kind of will start helping them set up their systems, answering their questions, but you won't do what you need to do to get your business down the road. And that goes back into procrastinating, things like that. You need to take care of you first, and then you can handle the team building stuff. And at the end of the day, you should be always producing for your business. You should be always doing whatever it is that you do on your daily basis to keep your business in front of new people. And keep it up. You don't ever stop. For example, videos, I'm going to do videos until I'm 100 years old and probably still do videos and still have videos come out when I'm long gone. But that's the kind of thinking you need to have. Same thing with blogging, same thing with whatever it is your strategy. It's not going to be something that you can kind of scale back on. It's going to be something that you're just going to have to keep doing. Now, with that being said, and I'm kind of going to go against three-way calls here because I do not like them, and I will admit that this is my own shortcoming, my own opinion here, but I'm just saying this to help you think about something. If you do three-way calls and you teach your team to do three-way calls, keep in mind as you get more successful, you're going to have to do it more. So in the beginning, you may only have one person on your team calling you up to do a three-way phone call. A few weeks later, you have 10 people on your team, each calling you up to do three-way phone calls. After a while, you may have 20 people on your team, each calling you up on a daily basis, wanting to do three-way phone calls. So you see how the more people you end up bringing in, the more overwhelm and work you're going to get buried behind. And don't get me wrong, three-way phone calls work for those who like doing it. But just understand that as you get more success, you're going to have to be careful about what it is you're doing. For example, I know a guy who's making $10,000 a month. He lives down the road from me, and he's on three-way phone calls from 4 o'clock in the morning till midnight because he has teams all over the place. That's not something I would ever want to scale up into. So whatever it is you make sure you kind of have that in the back of your mind. Just think, I'm not getting any signups now, but if I was getting 20, 40, 50 signups a day, could I scale this up, and could it be something that I could continue to do? For example, writing a daily blog post. When you write a blog post and people find your blog, That's very easy to keep doing. Every single day, get up, write a blog post. Whether one person sees it or 100 people see it, you did the work one time, and it's going to keep paying you. In the example of the three-way phone calls, one person bringing you a three-way phone call here and there is okay. 20 people bringing you three-way phone calls over time is not okay. So same thing with your video. When I first did my first video, I had 3 views. I did my 5th video, I had 10 views. I didn't care because I know that my videos, using this word, my video effect would compound. What do I mean by that? Now that I have over 1,000 videos, those videos are working for me whether I promote them or not. Every single day my YouTube channel is watched at least 26, 27 hours a day, and I could just keep doing a video a day and keep scaling up. So you see the difference there compared to my three-way phone call example. Going back to whatever it is you find that your strength is, just extend that. And I will also go the extra step and say that's why I always suggest 1 video, 1 blog post. If you just have that in your core, either a video or blog post, ideally both, but whatever one you're good at, just make that a part no matter what business you are in. And that right there will be enough to kind of start getting you traction in your business. So I know I kind of went off on another topic there, but yeah, I just wanted to hand it off.
No, I wanted to agree with you and summarize. When you're first starting out, to be the most consistent and the most, not to overwhelm yourself, is to, yes, learn how to do 1 video a day, do 1 blog post a day, and even if you're on Facebook, I would suggest do like 1 motivational post or 1, personal post a day, and start there. If you need a baseline to go with, just do it that way, and then get with your mentor to figure out how you can improve on them, and then eventually get out of that comfort zone and move on to other things. You don't want to do so much that you overwhelm yourself. So a good place to start is, blog post, video, some kind of personal post on Facebook, and get with your mentor.
I'll even back it up and say, even if it's just a post on Facebook, because Facebook in and of itself is a blog. It's a networked blogging site, which is really what it is. So if the idea of writing a full-blown blog post is kind of daunting, then do the same thing on your Facebook. And also understand Facebook, people use Facebook for social networking and entertainment, more so than anything else. So understand that, and you'll also understand why when people post their little business links all over the place, that'll only work so much. And also understand with Facebook, unless you're liking, commenting on other people's posts, your stuff is not going to get seen. For example, I have close to 5,000 friends. I know when I post on Facebook, only like 6 people are going to see whatever I post. And that's based on people I'm having conversations with, or people whose posts I also comment on, or different groups I'm active in. Going back to finding your thing in the beginning as a beginner, there's so much, even with just Facebook. When people say, oh yeah, Facebook marketing, I'll just talk about my business, I'll post it, and I'll be good. Wrong.
No.
If you're marketing on Facebook, you have to be active in Facebook groups. You have to actively leave comments, share other people's posts. You have to post very regularly. You have to have conversations with people. You can't just post your link on your page and expect people to sign up. Wrong. You have to keep doing this. And it's an all-day, all-consuming thing. I mean, at any 3 o'clock in the morning, you could pick up your phone and you could go off in the Facebook world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a part of the reason why I'm not a big time endorser of Facebook marketing, because it's just so consuming. And then when you're got that addictive, I need to get this stuff done personality, I'm sure everyone here has, that's why you're here, it just takes over your life. So at some point you have to kind of shut it off. But if you need to start somewhere, Facebook is a great place. Just comment, follow other marketers, see what they're doing, see what kind of things they're saying, see what kind of posts they're posting. Same thing with the motivational posts. You don't just want to be business link, get leads online, make money online, get leads online, make money online. People tune that out. So you're going to have to start mixing it up. Give value, give tips. My strategy on Facebook is, and this is just my little thing I do every day. It takes like 2 minutes because I don't like Facebook marketing. That's just my own opinion. It's just me. If you're going to post, you want to post in a group, and in that group, understand what the mentality is of the group. And this is what I share with my folks. For example, and I'm going to just throw out some names just to make it easy, the Power Lead System group. A lot of us use the Power Lead System marketing suite. So when you go to the Power Lead System group, the average person there, the majority of the people there, want to make more Power Lead System sales or generate more leads for whatever their business is. More than likely, they want to make more Power Lead System sales. So if you're making a lot of Power Lead System sales, then that's a group you kind of want to hit up regularly, maybe show a couple pick proofs, take a picture of your sales and post it in a group. But you want to always include something encouraging or give a tip. You want to give something of value. Because if you're just posting, look at how many sales I made, big whoop, good for you. How's that going to help me in my life? I don't give a crap about your sales. I give a crap about my own sales. So you want to post something and then have something of motivation, and then, or a tip on marketing, or stay focused, whatever, and then that'll attract people to you. Same thing on your Facebook wall. If you post, I'm making money all day long, people are just like, okay, wow, thanks. That'll discourage some people. But if you post something like that, you post something inspirational, motivational, or just say what you're doing, then that'll attract more people. But you have to mix it up. And kind of went off on another Facebook marketing rant, but that's the easiest and first place to start. But these same concepts work in blogging. If you want to blog, that's its own all-consuming topic. Because if you really want your blog found, think about how Facebook works. Blogging and SEO works the same way. If you write a blog post, you're going to have to go around to other people's blogs on that same topic and leave comments. Each of those comments links back to your blog, and it's the same. It works the same exact way. And so, but it's its own all-consuming giant. So again, you have to pick one. The same thing works in YouTube. If you do a YouTube video every day, that's great. But if you do a YouTube video every day and you leave 4 or 5 comments on other people's YouTube videos about the same topic and other collateral topics, then that's what gets you more interaction. You see what I'm saying? So you're going to have to pick one area and really get your feelers out there. But the idea is, after you get that framework down and you understand how it works, then you can go apply it to anywhere else. You see what I'm saying? So for example, Facebook. You make a post, you comment on other people's stuff, that creates engagement. That moves your post up to the top. Same concept, framework works with YouTube. You do a video, you leave comments on other people's videos, that creates engagement, that pushes your videos to the top. You see the thinking there? Same thing with, I think, blogging. Yeah. You write a blog post, you leave comments on other people's blogs, it's linked to you, and it pushes your stuff to the top. So it's just that same understanding apply multiple areas. And the only way you'll ever really get there is by picking one and really getting into that topic, digging into it, and then branching out after you get the framework down. And I hope I didn't go off on too many tangents there, but I think I'm. Let me know how I'm doing. If that was way too much.
No, it was fine. I think basically bottom line is to just make sure that when you're in something that you actually have a good mentor, and kind of go over what your strategy is, what your team strategy is, and see where you could start. That's your biggest skill that you can work on and then develop over time. But it does take a conversation. And if your mentor is like very busy, you need to keep on them. It gets to the point when you have a lot of people that you're working with, you need to, Rob and I say this all the time, you have to, bug them in Facebook. I mean, don't bug them every second, but you have to keep on them because you want to make money, so you have to take that initiative. Do not expect your mentor to constantly be reaching out to you. I mean, yes, if you have a good mentor, they're going to send you information, and but you have to be willing to take charge of that, and make sure that you follow what's on there, and get on. If you have questions, to reach out to them more than once if necessary. So that's how to not get overwhelmed.
How to not get overwhelmed, and yeah, I will agree with that. I will say, there's multiple ways of doing things, and there's one guy who got mad. He said, "You should be helping me out as a sponsor." I don't know, he said some stuff. He said I should be helping him out as a sponsor. And I said, "Okay, are you in my Facebook group?" He said, "Yes." Okay. And then I asked him, "Are you commenting? Are you leaving posts? Are you providing any sort of feedback, any sort of engagement so I'll know you're in a group?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Well, how do you expect me to track you down and make sure that you're doing your business?" And it's just, no person is responsible for their own business, period. Yep. And as a mentor or a sponsor, I put out content, and I'm starting to communicate more on a mass level. And the reason is you kind of have to. I mean, that's what technology is here for. That's what autoresponders are for. You send a broadcast, you send everyone information. If you come up with a new video or if you come up with a new traffic idea, that's what I do. I try to blast it out to everyone who joined me in every business, and it's up to you to kind of take that information and then provide me some feedback. Don't just sit there on a log somewhere and expect your sponsor to come find you, because it just doesn't work that way. And the same thing, they're all scared of Rob. Just laughing at a comment. But at the same time, you have to kind of demand this from people. It's just like, look, yes, I'm your sponsor. I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you. If you're overwhelmed, reach out to me. I had another lady, because what I do is anyone who joins me in anything, I try to email everybody at least once every 2 weeks of, what I'm doing now. Did I change anything? Am I using a new traffic source? Whatever the case may be. Just to keep them engaged. Even people who have joined and quit or joined and moved on, I see the people all the time. Guy joined me in one of my businesses. He's now promoting some other crap. I still send him emails. And that's me doing my part. But at the end of the day, you have to be the one to reach out back, if you will. There's another lady who said, I sent out one of these emails. She sent me an email. Yes, I've been sitting here. I was overwhelmed. I didn't want to send you a message. And I said, well, what have you been doing? Have you done anything? No. You know what I mean? So both people have to take ownership. People who are sponsors and people who are, the new person out there getting overwhelmed. You have to say something. If you don't know where to start, ask. And if you don't get your question answered, ask again. I tell people, send me an email, Facebook message, throw a rock, smoke signals, slash my tires. I don't know, do something, get my attention. But when you have my attention, then we can go. So that being said, I think that we're at 12:05. Send them 10 emails in 1 minute. Yes, do that. Slash his tires. I don't. Yeah. But hopefully you kind of understand what I'm saying here, and it's just find your strengths. Key takeaways from this hangout. Find your strengths. Start there. Again, start there. That's not where you're going to keep operating. You're going to eventually want to grow into other aspects. This hangout was one of those things for me. I like doing videos. I knew at some point I'm going to have to start doing hangouts. Also, for every one of you here, it trickles down. You are each going to have to start getting up to this point to where you are doing your own hangouts for your guys and then teaching your team, and it just keeps going down the line. And when people join stuff, they get overwhelmed. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to start. They're looking to you for guidance. But some people are hard-headed. Some people don't listen. Some people are out in left field with a hockey stick. They're in a wrong place. So when you're beginning, how to not get overwhelmed, how to not procrastinate is find your strengths, find what you're good at, start there. When you start getting results, continue and then branch out into something else. For example, my case, I started out blogging. Then I started into video. I would blog blog 5 times a day. Then I'd shoot 1 video a day. Then I would blog just 1 time a day. Then I would shoot 1 video a day. And then I would get on social media and start posting and start interacting with people. I still continue my video every single day. I haven't been blogging, I'm not going to lie. But, again, you see my point, you see my progression. The things that got you to where you are today, you want at the same time still branching out. Buying solo ads was one thing for me. I continue to put out content in the form of videos and blogs, and I would start buying solo ads. I would continue to put out videos and content. I would buy solo ads, and then I started buying cost per click traffic. I would continue writing videos and shooting, you get what I'm saying. Videos and blogs, buying solo ads, buying cost per click, doing hangouts. You see what I'm saying? And so it just keeps compounding what I'm doing. As I get more productive, as I get more knowledge, as I learn more of my craft, as I'm more secure and convicted in my tone, as I'm getting results, then that just keeps carrying over. You see what I'm saying? And that's from blogging. That was my strong suit, but now I'm blogging, doing videos, doing hangouts, buying traffic, which is a whole new category for me. First time I bought a solo ad, I was afraid, but I just went through the training and just did it, and now I'm doing it automatically. It takes my first solo ad took me 5 hours to order. Writing up the email, finding the right guy, you're not going to get screwed, thinking about it for 5 hours, walking around, drinking water, sharpening my pencil, just ridiculous. But I just say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to just do it, boom, done. Now, I just do it without thinking. It's just quick. I wake up, all right, I got 50 bucks here, log on, boom, solo ad done. Takes like 2 seconds. So you see what I'm saying? So as you keep going, you'll get more efficient, you'll speed up. And so now it's just like, how do I keep branching out? Because, as you grow as a person, as you do more things, your income will reflect that. And then as you keep growing, you're going to have to keep expanding, because you can't stay the same. You can't do what you're doing right now and expect more. You're going to have to keep branching out. You're going to have to get over the fear of doing videos. You're going to have to get over the fear of writing. You're going to have to get over the fear of buying solo ads. I don't. Does it make sense? I was afraid to buy a solo ad. I don't know, but it's something I just had to do. Once I've done it, I saw it wasn't evil. I didn't lose my money. I got leads. I was like, okay, I can see how this will work. And then now it's growing. And so now I'm looking for that next new thing I could start doing, if you will. That being said, it's probably going to be local events. And so that's just taking it to that next level. But again, that's just an example. But you have to start. You have to start at that one thing you're good. One guy said, I do those already every Wednesday. Well, all right. I'm just getting a hard time. But again, you start where you're at. If you're good at talking with people and stuff like that, do events. Go to a coffee shop, meet one person. Next week, meet two. Next week, nobody will show up. Next week, meet 10, and it just keeps on progressing. And so that's the biggest thing. But you got to start somewhere. So you might as well start with something you're good at. Keep doing it, and yeah. With that being said, I'm gonna hand it off to Renee for closing comments.
Closing comments is just no.
I got to specify that, because I'll keep rambling on, and I want to be respectful of time.
No, I agree. What you kind of did sum it up. Just if you don't have a mentor, reach out to us, and we'll get you hooked up and get started with someone who can mentor you. And that's it. Just find what you're good at, go with it, and if you need a mentor, just reach out. We're on Facebook, we're on Google+, so just reach out. And that's it.
All right. I guess we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks everyone for showing up. This stuff right here, there's value to it, and it's just going to help you. The more we keep connecting like this, the more the group is going to grow. The more we understand, the more you'll start understanding, picking up on different things. It wasn't until I kept listening to these events, I'm like, man, who wants to listen to a dang hangout? I mean, they're just going to sit around and chirp about how great the company is. But again, the more you kind of get around to it, the more it just starts getting in you, and then you'll just know what to say. And yeah. So anyway, that being said, thank you everyone for showing up. Have any questions? Facebook, Google, rocks, letters, snail mail. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.